So after lifting off the cover, we get into orientation, and right away we start tracing corners. So we have here to here, and then there to there, and then there, here, and then this twisted. So for these three, for the three first corner algs, I would use very short words. In this case, since it's PG, I will say it. This is pig, tie, home. Tie being short for Tyler in this case because it's TY, but you know, at this point I'm sort of just memorizing audio, so and not associating it with any real image, so just be pig tie home and then memorizes visually. Uh, Pretty straightforward corners. Um, for edges, we have here to here to here, and then from there we go here, here, and then here, 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 and we hit after four comms or after tracing four letter pairs, we hit our buffer and it's flipped. And since I know there's only two pieces left because I was keeping track of where I'd shot to, we have what I like to call a 2E prime, which is a 2E where each one of the swaps is flipped. So, like, not a pure two swap, it'd be a flipped two swap. So, in this case, it's these two and these two. What's nice about 2E primes, at least at the end of solves, is that you can completely improvise them as long as you know, I think, one orientation uh, of each of the swaps. If that makes sense. But in Memo, it's easy to deduce the last pair because here you just say, okay, where do I want to shoot this? From DR, the fastest is probably BL. No, yeah, BL, because that's a very easy setup into five mover. And then I don't even have to look at the B face because I look here. I know this BL piece has to go to BD in some way. So whether whether BL goes to BD or DB, uh, that's determinable with just one sticker. So I see this, I look here, and right away with that one sticker there, I know that BL has to go to BD. And since it's a 2E prime, you keep track that you shot to BL, and since you put your flipped buffer there, that means that the last target has to be LB. So by deduction, you know that the last com will be UF BD LB. And I would like to talk about this idea of just as soon as you have enough information to do the solve, put on your blindfold because time saved in Memo is equally as important as turning fast. And in my opinion, it's what can get you sub 18, sub 17 is just putting on the blindfold as soon as you have enough info. So when I see this and this, that's enough info. Put on the blindfold right away, and then um, either I'll just have some like intuitive feeling that that'll be the last comm, or I'll remember it visually as I'm putting the blindfold, if that makes sense. So I try to minimize time waste. So in exec, start with edges. Pretty straightforward. A regroup. Uperm. Now I didn't notice that I could cancel this last M2 with this. And in an ideal, perfect world, I would. But in comp, you sometimes just have to play it safe. And considering the time of the solve, you can't really be upset. So here to here to here. There's different things you can do like this, but as you can see, I'm not very good at doing it, and they can be a bit risky at times. And honestly, I prefer just to take the 9 mover because it may feel slow, it may be slow in some ways, but I know it'll work probably 99% of the time. And then again, I didn't notice that I could cancel the last move with the next com, but again, it's just one of those things. You take the L and you move on. So for this column, you do nice setup. And now here I did notice the cancellation. And this is what we were talking about, this 2E prime. So we decided to shoot there. Pretty simple. Boom. And then here I did notice the cancel, because this is the type of thing I do a lot, is or I notice a lot is, or that happens a lot, is that you have this set up into a 9 mover, often into a column that has to be set up this way anyway. So that's nice. For this column, I think I may be like the only one who does this, but there's one way you can do it where you set up. I didn't do that right. Where, yeah, you set up into a fat 9 mover from DB, and that's a good one. But I find often it's easy to mess it up and lock up. So instead, I just do M, and then our 3 pieces are here into 8 mover, and then you can cancel this R prime M prime at the same time. Or I guess it's not a cancellation; it's just a simultaneous move, and it's not too bad. So I stayed here after the second to last column. This was already here, and I did that. Boom. Okay, that was edges. Pretty straightforward. Now we're going to corners here to here to here. You can do our R prime U prime into 8 mover. What I like to do is keep it regripless, and I think the safest moves, and do D or D prime. That. Then for this one, something we could talk about is the concept of having multiple columns for one case. And in this case, you could do R, or you can do U R prime. And pretty sure they're like equal speeds. They're equal feeling as well. And they're both useful in different situations. So if you have your hand already on top, you can grip shift into it. If you have your hand on bottom, you could grip cancel. And sometimes you'll be in the mood for this one, and sometimes you'll be in the mood for that one. And you can also, it can help cancel moves at times as well. So the correct choice here would be this one, because that would cancel into the next column, which is this one. And I like to do U R prime U prime. And what's nice about this column is, even though I don't have multiple columns set up, I mean, you could do R prime F, but even though I don't have multiple, alternate Alex, you can still do different grips. So you could do home grip, and you could also do top grip. And even for something as simple as this one, you could do it like this as well. And that's something to consider, because that'll often grip shift and not grip shift, I said it again, grip cancel, and grip canceling saves non-negligible amount of time. But I chose the wrong option, and I did this one because I've just been doing that a lot recently. And then I had to regrip here and do this, like that. And I don't remember which version of the twist I did, but that brings me to my next point, is that when you have a twist like this, you have multiple options on what to do. Well, you have two, essentially. You can do it like this, right? Or you can do the U prime first and do it like this. And you may say that, like, why would you, like, isn't that pointless? And in many ways, yes, but in these two specific ways, no. So you can often cancel moves, especially with these U2 ones, the UBL, UFR. And when I'm talking about two different ways, I'm mostly talking about either all U face or all D face twist, not like one where you have a combined. So in this case, let's say my last column ended with U, well, I could cancel into this one. Now, the second way is that if your pinky is already on, your pinky, not your pinky, your ring. If your ring is here, that favors the R prime D R insert. If your ring is here, that favors R prime D prime R insert. So my ring at the end of the last column was here. So it's a tiny save, but it helps a bit, and it's not hard to do, so you can just do that, right? And yeah, so that's it. I don't actually know which one I did in this solve, but I don't think it affects it too much, but it's something to think about. So here, this is my PR single. It could be a lot better. This is actually sort of a fail solve, and we'll see why. But we start tracing corners here, here, here. Very good calm, and then we hit our buffer, and you float, of course. So go on to UFL as the next buffer that I prefer over UBR, and then we go here, here, here. Boom, UFL buffer. Keep on going. So then there's two options since we traced 6 pieces. Could either be a 2 swap, um, or a two twist. And yeah, we have a 2 twist. Good 2 twist, in fact. So that's it for corners. And what I would do is memorize this just with letters, and then that visually. Very good corners. And then in edges, we have here, 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 and here to here, 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 here. And then another example of this 2E prime. And I'm not going to go too in depth about it, but I decided to shoot, since I hit, maybe I will go in depth about it. So since I hit the FU sticker, I know that if I shoot it to UB, that's going to leave me with an awkward calm, because both of these both of these to BU are weird, because you either have to do that or some like big wrist movement. So by shooting it to BU, you guarantee that your last comm will be to UB, and both of these stickers to UB are really fast. So you go here to here to here, and then and then just like you don't even have to look down here, and the last comm, you can remember it visually, will be here to here, right? So this sort of makes if you think about it, and then I would put on, as soon as I shoot here, and then know that this sticker has to go back there, put on the blindfold right away. Don't look down here. So as soon as you have enough info to start to solve. Anyway, continuing on, we can start exec. So for this comm, there's a bunch of stuff that you can do, but my favorite by far is UD into 8 mover, and that simplifies life a lot. This one is standard. This one also standard. This one also standard. Don't start with L, because then you'll have to do L prime M at the end, which is 1, awkward, and 2, this way cancels a move by combining L and M moves into 1 L wide. Here, nice 8 mover. And I could have canceled with U2, but I did U and then U again. Not the end of the world. And I did that comm fast, but it's a standard one, so I'm not going to go over it again. In corners, like that. Then here, here, here. There's so many different things you could do. You could do R like this. You can do that. You can do this. So what I do normally is just set up. You could also do this. I set up into the UFR case and then do R prime UD into 8 mover. Although reflecting on it now, D prime RD is also pretty good. But I decided to do this, which isn't bad. And then here is where, this is where it's a bit cringe. Sorry. I started doing the twist, and then I doubted myself. I'm like, wait, do I have to do this the other way? Because both of these both directions of the twist start the same way. And unfortunately, I got confused, and I started into this one, and then I undid it, and then I started again. And just that tiny hesitation, I'm pretty sure cost me like I don't know what it would be, maybe a like 15.7, 15.8. But instead, I added an entire second to my solve by hesitating and doing that twist. But I'm sure I'll get a 15 soon. I think in the second round, I DNF'd a like 15.8 by 2 edges. I think that was like 11 algs, so I'm definitely able to do it. I'm not worried. And I'm happy about the mean, so I'm not going to complain. Last solve, I was pretty nervous on this one, I think. Hence the not so great TPS and edges, but I really didn't want to fail another really good mean. And I'm pretty sure this one was better than what I could have gone in a WR, where I failed the world record mean by a dB flip or a dB float. But I made up for it now. I mean, it's not world record, but I'll take it. So on this scramble, I picked it up, and I think somehow I rotated past these things, and I saw 3 solved edges, and the nerves really started kicking in because I thought this was going to be, a 7 or 8 Alger, but we'll see that I got deceived. So in corners, we have here, 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 here to here, and here, and that's pretty straightforward corners. So I'm just going to go into. Oh yeah, one thing I could mention is that when you have a parity target, you can often just visual it, because memorizing an extra letter, although it's just one letter, it can be slow, and just remembering it visually can save some time. So don't complicate your life. And then for edges, we have here, 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 and we have to do UFUR swap. So I broke to RU, and then fastest thing from RU for me is LU, probably equally as fast as UL, maybe slower. I don't know, but I really like doing that comp, so I broke there. And one thing I didn't see was that this UL thing formed a floating cycle. And looking back, I'm not too sad about it, because there's no way I could have known, um, unless even with sandwiching, it wasn't on a. Sandwiching is when you notice a float in your memo because of the format XABX, but here it was on odd target, so sandwiching would be hard, and I'm not even so used to sandwiching that much. Um, so it's not the end of the world. The solve was okay, and it got me a pretty good mean, so I'm not going to complain. Had I seen this, it probably would have been faster, but who cares? It is what it is. You can't go back and notice the float now, so it's fine. So I broke here, 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 and then here, and then as I was looking, sorry, here to here, and then back to LU. And then as I saw LU, I noticed these two were a 2 swap, and I think I noticed this was a flip earlier. So that is enough information to start to solve. So I think I put on the blindfold then, um, because you can improvise any 2E2E, and the flip just switches some tiny stuff, and it actually gives you a lot more options, and we'll see why. But yeah, put on the blindfold. So that was only 3 edge comps to really memorize, and then the other stuff just memorize visually, and then you could improvise it. So the first com, it may be scary because of the B moves, but it's actually a pretty fast com. Oh, by the way, that was 10 algs, even though 3 edges were solved. So that was kind of annoying when I realized it. And then the next com, I really like this one. And then next com, and I think I locked up somewhere here, which is not good because I was pretty nervous. And then here, I think I did L wide, and then L prime wide, and then some stuff like this. I locked up quite a bit. Oh yeah, by the way, here we have a flipped edge and a 2E2E sort of, but this one is flipped. So there's many options. Dumb options would be to flip this and then perform some sort of 2E2E here. You can then the not so dumb options would be go here to here and then break into the the 2 swap, and then on the next com break into the flip and then go back. What I ended up doing and what I like is that you can break into the flip before going into the 2 swap. Yeah, and that's pretty good, and that's what I did. And so I wanted to force DF to BL because that's pretty fast. Another fast one is to LD, but I didn't notice that. So the calm I use for this, and I should probably change it because every single time I lock up, but the calm I use for this is LF into an 8 mover, and I locked that up quite a bit in the solve. Next calm here, UD, no, U prime D into that. And then this last one I think was like really slow, but it's S U prime to that. Now this corner calm I really, really like. I don't know how many people use it, but I think I remember when I found it, I don't remember who's listed on, but I was surprised because the normal one is U prime D into, I don't know, it's long, but this one, it's something I never would have thought of, but it's R2 into a 9 mover, and I really, really like it. So that was it. And then here, here, here. And usually around this time in the solve, I'll be thinking about whether I want a parity shift or not. And here, I don't want a parity shift because that would mean going here and then there and then there. I mean, parity here and then there. And parity here is like one of the not great cases. And then here to here is like also not fast. And considering this to this to this is pretty fast. And this parity is not too bad. I'll just take the normal solution. So here we go here like that. And then you are U prime into J perm. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. Have a great day. And here's just a bonus 6.72 3-style solve with 3x3 that I got, which was my overall PB in competition. I don't even think I had a 7 before, so this was my first sub 8 ever. And I mean, maybe I got some sub 8, probably definitely got some sub 8 executions in 3 blind, but this is my first time in like a official solve. Fortunately, I didn't get it on video because I didn't think I would get anything good. But I got this somehow, which is top 1,000 worldwide, and considering the amount I practice 3x3, which is close to nothing, pretty good time. So here we have here, here, here. By the way, floating UFL because UFR is solved here, here, and then here to here, and then here, here, which is like 3 insane comps. And then we have here, 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 and then a 2E2E. And if I was doing this blind, I'd put on blindfold as soon as I saw this and the 2E2E, because you don't have to actually memorize letters for 2E like you talked about. But this is cited 3x3, so I believe what I did first was this, and I'm going just for memory here. So that is, I like that calm. Then, and here you can actually cancel by not doing simultaneous UD and instead just, not simultaneous UE, and instead just doing E, because the next calm I do the M version, and I decided to go here, here to here, and then there to there, and you can cancel the U again. So it's really compounding. I don't know if that's the correct term. Oh, I did the wrong direction. Here, here, here. Yeah. Oh no, I did the right direction. I'm just dumb. And then we have the next column is here to here to here, and that you can cancel like that. Done. And then here to here to here. That's a very easy 8 mover. Make sure you're double flicking your V2s. And then here, 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 another very easy 8 mover. And I didn't notice, I don't think I canceled these moves, but it is what it is. And then the last one is U2 into that 8 mover, which makes it a 9 mover. Yeah, so that was 6.72, I believe, exec, because memo doesn't count. and I did memo in inspection. And yeah, I think that would be a total of like 53 STM or something, which is like half the average move count of the mean I just showed, which is pretty nuts. And maybe the lowest move count I've ever gone in, or lowest theoretical move count, because I did more with without the cancellations. But that's still pretty crazy. And yeah, so thank you for watching.